Assalamu alaikum Blifians, I'm Asma and you're watching Blifi, the place to be for Muslim life hacks to follow our deen more easily. And in this video we will look at how to avoid handshakes with non-mahrams, especially in a professional and casual setting. So let's get right into it. So, first of all, this is a list of mahrams and anybody that is not on this list is a non-mahram. So, as Muslims, we keep a distance with people of the opposite gender who are non-mahrams, and this includes avoiding handshakes. Now, in countries like US, UK, Canada, and where I'm from, Australia, it is very common to greet each other with a handshake. But when it comes to non-mahrams or the opposite gender, how do we react to the handshake? Because number one, it's very common, and because it's very common, number two, it's hard to avoid and hard to explain why we don't do handshakes with non-mahrams, and number three, it is very sudden and immediate, and there are so many people watching, so how do we avoid handshakes when it comes to a professional setting or a casual setting with a non-mahram? Step 1. Whether they put their hand out first or not, you put your hand on your chest and maybe a slight tilt of your head to acknowledge the introduction. Scenario number 1. Action. So they put their hand out first and say, "Hi, I'm Bob." What do? So you look at the hand, put your hand on your chest and say, "Hi, I'm Asma, and I'm sorry I don't do handshakes with men, but nice to meet you." Don't say "I'm Asma" unless your name is Asma. Just say whatever your name is. So when you do this, you may get a variety of responses. Number 1, they take their hand back and they put their hand on their chest as well and say, "Hi Asma, nice to meet you," or whatever your name is. Or I've had other responses where they join their hands or they get a bit uncomfortable and put their hand in their pocket. And now, scenario number 2, you are the first one to introduce yourself. So you just start off with the same thing. Put your hand on your chest, say your name. "Hi, I'm Asma. Nice to meet you. What's your name?" Or you could do this while you're doing something else. So for example, if this is an interview setting, "Hi, I'm Asma. Nice to meet you." And I'm like getting adjusted while I'm introducing myself. So that completely cuts out the need for using my hands for a handshake, whether they've put their hand out first or not. And go with whatever you're comfortable with. Most of the time, the first person to introduce themselves or do the greeting is the one that sets the tone for the conversation. So if somebody puts their hand out first, it may be a bit hard for you to deny that handshake. Whereas if you were the first one to put your hand on your chest or do whatever other than a handshake, that sets the tone for how the other person responds to you as well. But sometimes there may be situations where I'm like, "Hi, I'm Asma," and they're like, "Hi, I'm Bob." And I'm like, "But my hand's here. But why is your hand out there?" In my mind, I wouldn't be saying it out loud. So in that situation, all you have to do is keep your hand still on the chest, or if you're waving your hand or something, keep your hand still there. Like, keep your hand wherever it was before and say, "I'm sorry I don't shake hands with men," or if you're a man, then, "I'm sorry I don't shake hands with a woman." Just a side note, if you're a man and you're saying this to a woman, please also add that you're doing this for religious purposes, because sometimes it may be a bit hurtful for them. Or you can also do this if you're a lady. So, "I'm sorry I don't shake hands with men." For me, that usually works. But if you're a man, "I'm sorry I don't shake hands with women as part of my faith." One important thing to keep in mind is that don't be offensive. Be kind. So don't be like, "I don't shake hands with women," or "I don't shake hands with men," or just turn away and walk away. Don't do any of those things. Be kind and do not be offensive. Regardless of what you do, even if you're kind, sometimes you can't control who takes offense, but we can control how we say it. Because what is important for us is we do not want to be offensive to Allah, because offense to Allah is more important for us than offense to another person. And also the way you greet other people shows the other person what kind of person you are. So when you deny a handshake with a non-mahram, you are showing that you are a loyal Muslim and you're confident about your identity as a Muslim. Not only this, but the other person will learn something new about Muslims if they did not know that already. Now, some people may already know that Muslims don't shake hands with the other gender, but they might have forgotten. Or another reason is that some Muslims still shake hands with the other gender regardless of their faith. So that's why the other person just goes for it, because that's the general way of doing it. So it depends on you how you respond to that handshake or that opportunity to handshake. Next point to remember here is to be ready to answer questions. Because following from that introduction point, they will ask you why. Why do you not shake hands with men? Or why do you not shake hands with women as part of your faith? And for me, from my experience, when I say I don't shake hands with men, they ask me why. So I'd be like, it's part of my faith. And they'll be like, okay, so what kind of men? Is it all men? So I get all kinds of questions, and that is why it is important to be ready to answer those questions whether you know the answer to them or not. If you do not know the answer to the question, you can simply say that you will do your research and get back to them on that, or you can say I'll find out and let you know. But the main reason we avoid handshakes with the opposite gender who are non-mahrams is because Allah said so. It's part of our faith. That is the simple, clear answer. But any more questions that follow up from that, if you do not know the answer to that, just say, I will get back to you on that, inshallah. Everything we do as a Muslim is a da'wah opportunity to show the niceness of Islam. So please be very kind in how you approach the handshakes with non-mahrams. Now that was all about professional settings, in interviews, in meetings and events that in corporate environments, work-related situations. Now when it comes to casual situations, I'll give you an example of what this might look like with a story. So when I was in uni, short for university, with my friend who is not a Muslim, she's a girl, okay? So we were walking, yeah? And we see a guy who studied with us in high school. And he is also non-Muslim. So my friend here, she is a non-Muslim, and now the guy we studied with is also a non-Muslim. He's coming, and my friend and that guy hugged. It's very common in Australia to greet with hugs in casual settings. So they hugged, and I'm wearing hijab. So I thought he would know that I'm a Muslim and I don't do hugs or handshakes with non-mahram men or just men outside in general, because we know each other from before. We've studied with each other before, and our school had a lot of Muslim people. So I thought he knew. But I guess he forgot or something, because after he hugged my friend, it happened so fast that I had to act quickly. He came to hug me and I stepped back. So he just hugged air like that. Yeah, so these kind of situations can happen to anybody, even if we don't hang out with men on a casual basis. So I was hanging out with a friend who's a female, and I was not hanging out with a male friend, but still we can encounter these kind of situations. That is why it's important to be ready for them and think quickly, act quickly, and have answers ready as well. But alhamdulillah, the situation was managed, and yeah, everything was sorted out. So this story was about a hug, but it's the same with handshakes. You can do what we discussed in the first part of the video with professional setting stuff, like the same thing. You can put your hand on your chest, you can wave, or do whatever you want, and same answers. You can do that, but also when it comes to greeting people that you know from before you started taking Islam seriously, and now you're creating a physical distance with them. For example, cousins. So when it comes to avoiding handshakes and hugs with the opposite gender, it also applies to cousins. So in these kind of casual settings, now you're with a cousin, and when you need to explain yourself, you can be a bit more chill compared to professional setting. So when I was in a situation with cousins where they would like shake hands to greet me whenever I meet them, I started saying, no, I don't shake hands with men anymore. So here, you will definitely get a lot of questions, because at some point you may have shook hands with them before, but now you're not. So they have a lot of questions going on in their mind, and they will ask you that. So again, be ready to answer those questions. They may be personal or religious questions, but be ready to answer, and also be ready to say that you don't know the answer if you don't know the answer. Or if you don't know the answer, then tell them again that I'll find out and let you know. But whatever your answer is, be ready to be confident about it, because things could also get emotional and could possibly cause offense. You know, when it comes to relatives, sometimes they don't understand the Islamic side of things, and it can be a bit offensive for them. Like, who does she think she is to avoid my handshake? You know, those kind of things. So be ready to face those things. And when you're faced with these kind of situations, keep in mind that you're doing this for Allah, and obeying Allah is more important than obeying society or relatives. Just like how in professional settings it was a good opportunity to show the people what Islam really is, now also when it comes to casual settings and cousins and friends, it's also a great opportunity to teach them about this part of Islam, especially with cousins, because if you're Muslim, chances are that they're Muslim as well, and not everybody knows about this. Not everybody knows about the fact that we should avoid touching the other gender if they are a non-mahram. Alhamdulillah, this is all very easy nowadays considering COVID, and not a lot of people are shaking hands anymore. So inshallah, I hope that this video is useful when we go back to normal and start meeting people a lot more than we used to in the last 2 years. And also because of COVID, a lot more people are doing the hand on the chest thing, or the elbow touch, or just air high fives. But the thing is, Now a lot more people are avoiding handshakes, so it's even easier, and inshallah I hope it is easier from here even after things go back to normal. If you know any more tips to avoid handshakes with non-mahrams, then please let us know in the comments down below and share this video with someone who may find it useful. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe for more Muslim life hacks like this. Until next time, live your beliefs and stay tuned to Bliffy. You look at the hand and then I say, "Hi, I'm Asma." Oh no, sorry. No. But if you're a man, I'm sorry, I don't shake hands with women.
So my dream for Jannah grows day by day, and I pray to Allah to guide me all the way till I make it to His paradise.